Clara was 39 years old and had been married to Roberto, a caring and kind man, for 2 years. Roberto had a son from his first marriage, Daniel, who was 20 years old. He had recently moved in with them while attending college. Although Clara and Daniel had a friendly and respectful relationship, a series of unexpected events would begin to change everything on an ordinary day. It was a sunny Saturday. Roberto had left early for a business trip, leaving Clara and Daniel alone at home. Clara, taking advantage of the peaceful morning, decided to clean the house while listening to her favorite music. She was wearing light, comfortable clothes and was tidying up shelves and rearranging the furniture. There was no rush, and she felt at ease with the idea of spending the day taking care of the house. As she moved through the living room, dancing softly to the rhythm of the music, Clara noticed, from the corner of her eye, that Daniel was standing in the kitchen doorway, watching her. He was silent, just observing her movements. Clara, trying to break the ice, smiled and said, "Good morning, Daniel." He responded with a nod and a shy smile but didn't leave. The tension in the air was subtle, but Clara felt something different in that moment. She continued cleaning, but his presence there began to affect her in an inexplicable way. There was something in the way he watched her that unsettled her. It wasn't something she could pinpoint, but there was something more in Daniel's gaze. Perhaps it was the fact that he was no longer a child, that he had become a young man, but Clara couldn't ignore the growing feeling of discomfort that started to take over her body. Minutes later, Clara reached for a high shelf to grab an object, but as she stretched, she lost her balance. She felt a slight panic when she realized she was about to fall, but before that could happen, a firm hand grabbed her waist. It was Daniel. "Careful, Clara, you almost fell," he said, his tone concerned, but with an intensity Clara wasn't expecting. She felt his touch, warm and strong, and for a moment, the world seemed to stop. They exchanged a glance, and in that instant, Clara felt something indescribable, as though something had shifted between them. Daniel quickly let go, but Clara still felt the warmth of his touch on her skin. She swallowed hard and, trying to regain control of the situation, suggested, "Let's take a break. We can sit down and talk for a bit." The nervousness between them was evident, but Clara tried not to show the whirlwind of thoughts racing through her mind. Sitting on the couch, the conversation turned to everyday topics, like Daniel's college life and Clara's work. But as they talked, Clara couldn't ignore the glances they exchanged. Something was different in the air. Daniel seemed more restless than usual. His eyes avoided hers, but from time to time, they would meet in an intense gaze, as though both were trying to understand what was happening between them. Finally, Daniel broke the silence, his voice soft but filled with sincerity. "Clara, you're very special to me," he said, looking her directly in the eyes. The words made him stop, as if he was processing what he had just said. Clara, completely surprised, didn't know how to respond. There was genuine sincerity in his words, but also an underlying charge of something more, something she didn't know how to deal with. She swallowed again, her thoughts racing. "Daniel, this is complicated," she replied, trying to stay calm. "You're very young, and it can't happen. We need to be cautious about our feelings."